Hello everyone, welcome back to the YouTube channel, and today I am back with another movie review and a film I have never seen before. I have seen snippets of it, and it's arguably spoke about as one of the greatest films in history. Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship of the Ring, the first of the trilogy, and obviously with three prequel films following The Hobbits and Bilbo Baggins. So let me know what you think down below of the trilogy in general. Do you regard it as one of the greatest in history? Do you think it's one of the greatest films in history? And, I'm going to give you my first thoughts here. I want to say this. I will probably be in the minority when I speak about certain aspects, not the whole film. But hit that subscribe button before we jump into it. Leave a like if you enjoy what you hear. And of course, spoilers ahead if you've never read the books or watched the movies. I recommend them for sure. I'll be watching the other two this week, hopefully, and the trilogy prequels in the future. So, and obviously to prep towards the Amazon TV series that's coming at some point in September. So stay tuned for that as well. And of course, enjoy the video. So when you're dealing with a film like Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship of the Ring, you have to talk about, characters, story, sets, the world building, the score, the acting, the casting, so much when you got into a film like this. First off, props to Peter Jackson. He did a phenomenal job in bringing this film together. This team of actors and actresses to build the world of Lord of the Rings that was brought to life through the books. Um, there's some pros, there's a lot of pros, there's definitely some cons. And I want to say this is no way near on the levels, in my opinion, that people believe it is. This is no way near on, the same level as I regard Harry Potter or Star Wars. Um, those films have world building and slow scenes, but they're enjoyable to watch. Lord of the Rings is not a very rewatchable film, Um, but I want to talk about the best bits of this film, Aragon, that's how you pronounce his name, who has a claim to the throne. Aragon, yeah, he is the greatest character in this film. I absolutely love every scene he's in. His protection and his moral will to protect Frodo at all costs. Gandalf's relationship with Frodo in this film was fantastic. We didn't get to see much of Gimli and Legolas, in the realms of Tolkien. Did a lot of fighting, of course, and them two were very enjoyable to watch and their dynamics between each other, as obviously elves and dwarfs do not get along as you see throughout the film. I believe, Frodo, Elijah Wood just wasn't that good. I've got to admit, he's not a very good actor. I watched this and I'm talking about the actor and the casting. There was nothing to him. He was very wooden to me. Even the lively scenes, he just seemed blah. You have Peregrine and Meriadoc, um, two of the worst characters I've ever witnessed in cinema history. They are cringy to watch. They're annoying to watch. They were the cause of near enough everything in that film. They just brought nothing to the table. They got kidnapped at the end. And I just thought they were just shit. I'm sorry, but there was just nothing to them. Every character that wasn't a Hobbit in this film was good. As I said, Gimli, Legolas, Aragorn, Gandalf. You have Boromir, who's played by Sean Bean. A fantastic send off at the end. I like how he gave into the ring and then he made up for that by protecting the two hobbits, ultimately sacrificing himself when he got three arrows to the body. I believe his relationship with Aragorn was brilliant. Having all the elves in it, when they went to Riverdale, that was a great scene. I loved how they built the fellowship. That was such an empowering scene, bringing this group of different races and people together. I thought that was a fantastic scene and well put together. The forest scene where that woman tried to take the ring from Frodo, and Frodo's finally fighting back in the mind sense. In the sense of fighting, he was absolutely annoying to watch. All the Sam And the other two hobbits, they were fighting, they were being courageous. Frodo was the biggest wuss I've ever seen in an adventure quest film. If the other three weren't fighting, you'd get it. You know, they're all scared, they're all frightened for their lives. But he was horrible to watch, Frodo. He got stabbed twice. There was a scene right in the mine scene. He got stabbed. He acted like he was dying. He got up. There was no blood, and he took no damage. I don't understand it. Why did he act like he was dying? What a scene. Um, you know, you have the scene early in the film where he learns he can turn invisible with the ring when the Black Knights are above him. He doesn't. He turns invisible and goes, you know what? I'm not gonna move. They're not gonna think that, are they? No, they stab him, and he acts so shocked. Elijah Wood just isn't. He just didn't do a good job in this film. Seeing the likes of Orlando Bloom, the woman who plays the elf on the poster you can see on the right. I'm not too familiar with names at the moment. You know, she plays Hela in Thor. You have Hugo Weaving as Elrond, the Elven Lord from um, the names I haven't come to the elf place, Riverdale. I thought it was amazing to see Christopher Lee as Saruman the White. Short role, but mate, that guy's a legend. You know, playing Dracula, Count Dooku, Willy Wonka's dad. Nah, yeah, I'm just saying, but you know, they've gone over the characters. You can see who the strengths and weaknesses were, and the weaknesses. And I'm sorry, and Sam as well. You know, knowing the guy from Goonies and he's in Stranger Things later on in his career, he was good. He stuck to his role the whole film, but again, he was still weak in aspects. There was not much to him. He was very one-dimensional. All the hobbits were one-dimensional. They were the worst part of the film. That's just fact. The score phenomenal, absolutely beautiful songs. The song that was on in the Shire when Gandalf came to see Frodo, absolutely beautiful. The main theme song on Lord of the Rings, I'm not familiar with the names, but that was brilliant. They played a couple of times throughout the film, and you know, for a 3-hour film, you want good music, you want good cinematography. You know, the shots of the mountains and the fire, and you know, when the battle scenes, the trolls they had, the giants, the orcs, the elven designs of the buildings. It's absolutely built beautiful. I love how they went into so much detail of having libraries and books, and you know, the story at the start where they carved out the lore of the rings. You know, the 19 rings. I think 19 plus the one ring to rule them all. The battle, the legacy of how it came to Bilbo Baggins' hand, how it went through Gollum appearing slightly in the present story. There was just so much amazingness to this film, but a lot of issues, which sort of were all with Frodo and the Hobbits. I thought Gandalf, when he says "You shall not pass," was an absolutely incredible scene. So iconic. Obviously, I knew that before I'd even watched this film. And yeah, you know, could they have done this in one film? Did they wing it in places? Absolutely. Could they do it in two films? I'm still completely confused as to why there's a film in between, because at the end of the film, Frodo and Sam are basically at Mordor. So it's they're not there, but I mean they're in walk. They could see it. So I'm thinking, why is it taking you 6 hours to throw it in the volcano? You know, I have a lot of pet peeves with this. I'm very much excited for the two sequels. I've heard Return of the King is the greatest of the three. It's a very, very good film. It's not perfect by any means. It's not one of the greatest films I've ever seen. As I said, you know, it's not got rewatchability. I don't think I'll go back to this film for a very long time. Not because I hate it, but simply because I can't be arsed watching a 3-hour film of world building and all that jazz. It's like watching Game of Thrones all 8 seasons. You know, at least it's hour breaks each week. Or if it's The Witcher, these are the series I compare the most to because it's the world building, it's the character development, it's your actors who drive it. Having someone like Aragon drive the story in this is absolutely brilliant because obviously he has to be the strong, heroic, willing to do anything for any character in any scene. You know, the bit where he brings Gimli and Legolas together at the end, the trio, and they let Frodo and Sam go off to the distance was such a powerful scene for he became the leader, the king that Boromir now sees. And yeah, Peter Jackson did a phenomenal job. The score was top notch. I've said my piece with the issues, and I'm going to give this a 9 out of 10. You know, to be fair, I've give some perfect 10 out of 10s to films that may not be perfect 10 out of 10s, but I look at films in the sense of, can I rewatch this? Should I recommend it to people? You know, I've spent so much time staying away from these movies because of the hype, because of the length of the films, because of the lore and the legacy and everything that comes with it. I truly don't believe I will be captivated by these three films. I absolutely love this sort of films, you know, the weird creatures that they have in it, the beasts, the lore, the way they have all the history written down and you can read through it and look through it all, how they have prequels and the Lord of the Rings series coming out, all these different races and characters and places you can visit, you know, Mordor, Mountain of the Mount Doom, you know, where the Eye of Sauron is, Saruman's kingdom, the Shire, Hobbiton, all these places that is built over one film. This film has built so much, and obviously there's a 4 hour cut as well. I do recommend everyone goes checks it out. If you're a fantasy fan, if you're a sci-fi fan, if you love myths and magic and lore and death and blood and you just love a bit of, you know, comedy, then you'll have an absolutely great time. I had an absolutely great time. There was just some issues with it, definitely flaws, but Ian McKellen killed it. Orlando Bloom killed it. John Rhys Davies killed it. Sean Bean was brilliant. Sean Astin, he was good. Elijah Wood, I did not rate at all. Viggo Mortensen, who played Aragorn, best part of the whole film, as well as multiple other countless people. You know, Kate Blanchett was in there. The guy played Red Skull, Hugo Weaving. The list goes on. It was a phenomenal cast, and yeah, go check it out. 9 out of 10, no higher, no less, but a very good watch. And I am looking forward to watching Lord of the Rings, The Two Towers. So stay tuned for that when it drops on my channel some point this week, hopefully, and then ending off with Return of the King and then the Trio of the Hobbit falling in a couple of weeks' time. So stay tuned for them. Hit that subscribe button if you enjoyed the films yourself. If you enjoy what you hear, let me know down below your thoughts. And if you disagree with me, of course, you let me know. You know, not everyone's going to agree. Not everyone's going to have the same thoughts on these films. And that is what the beauty of enjoying movies is. I just think they are overhyped to hell. And when you overhype something, it doesn't truly resonate with you as well as you would loved it to. But I had a great time. That's all that matters. And so I will see you in the next one and take care. Goodbye.